Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night, which means it's another live Wicked Horror Show. I'm Kevin, and as always, I'm joined by Tony Has Nine Fingers.
What is going on, people?
And Tony, do you want to introduce our special guest? Welcome back, our special guest.
Sure, it's been a while, but we've had him on, actually, if you could tell by the face behind me.
By the David Long in the corner?
Yeah. By that, we probably will bring up one of his movies, but JOE
There's no
Stauffer,
probably about it.
Okay.
We're going to bring it up.
Because honestly, Joe, I think he talks about that almost every other show in a really good light. So
welcome to the show, Joe. Oh, are you muted?
I don't know, man.
There you are.
Am I muted now?
No, you were. Now you're
Cool.
not. Yeah, welcome back. It's been a while. So yeah, I still use Pieces of Talent as a reference when it talks about, people like, not being able to get things done or whatever, it's taking too long and all this other stuff. And like legit, Pieces of Talent was my favorite movie of the year that it came out. And both Tony and I think Wolfie, we ended up getting a screener for it, and then we all fell in love with it. And there's a lot of stuff. And thankfully, because of the show, we were able to meet you, and I got to meet you guys in person once at a con. And I legitimately bring it up a lot. Like a friend of ours is kind of a regular on the show, Angel. He's an aspiring cinematographer. And I'm like, you need to watch Pieces of Talent. And then I point out, like what you pointed out recently, is that it's been so long, you've got a lot more tricks in your hat, So you've come along. Yeah, you've come from there as well. But it's even still, for an independent movie, I mean, there was a lot that you had to do with that movie. It took a long time to get done, but I still absolutely love it. And one thing that Tony pointed out is that it actually, I'm not like I'm getting rid of him anytime soon, but he was saying, weren't you saying that, Tony, that the movie's actually going for quite a bit on eBay?
Yeah, a lot of people. I think I was going to bring it up later on, but I think especially with this little boom period of independent horror movies, it's helping a lot of the movies that might have been overlooked beforehand definitely get the limelight, because I do a few different things with movies, but there's one thing called Whatnot, which is almost like a eBay, like a live eBay site. And there was a few different sellers that had Pieces of Talent, and it is going for a good amount of money because it's one of those limited runs and stuff. And they're like, I don't know what to sell it for. And then people were looking it up on eBay, and they're like, what is this movie? So it's kind of funny because they're like, I've never heard of this thing. So in the comments where everybody's like 50 people are commenting, I'm like, it's a really good movie. We did right. Like, you guys got to watch it before you even think about, selling it. And it's just funny where people are like, I never heard of it, but I want to check it out now. And it's, I think because of the boom period, which was, we mentioned it many a times with the pandemic, it was a good time for the independent movies, whether it be I think horror definitely gained the most traction from anything, just because people were looking for that. But because of the pandemic, it opened everybody's eyes to the independent stuff, and now they're kind of looking every which way because they're like, oh, what is this? I've never seen movies like this before, or knew that there was, you don't have your the big budget movie, not even big budget, but like the mainstream movies, let's look somewhere different. So I think that might be helping that out as well.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That it's good that people are realizing that there's great stories being told out there by, independent creators that doesn't consist of Hollywood force-fed garbage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
I feel like a lot of the stuff, when the higher the budget goes, I feel like this is not, always, but the creativity kind of goes down. It's like budget goes up, creativity goes down, because it's more of a business decision. It's more of a business venture. The suits are there on set, and they're making calls, and it's formulaic at a certain point.
Yep.
And that's detrimental to art, period.
Right.
If you had a bunch of people standing around behind Van Gogh while he's trying to do his thing, do you think he would be making what he made? It's just, that's the nature of it. I think once something grows beyond a certain point, it becomes its own demise. And it's nice that people are seeing, how empowered the independent folks are these days, because with the equipment, just this last 10 years, it's insane. It is insane how much easier it is to create something, just versus, like I said, a decade ago. I would have laughed at you if you would have told me to use something like autofocus, on anything that I was shooting, like a legit project. But nowadays, the technology's come so far that, you can use something like that. It's so advanced that it is accurate. Autofocus, whoop, 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 go in and out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, they used autofocus on this shot. But as a cinematographer, you want your stuff to be locked on, and now it does it, and it's awesome. It makes my life a lot easier.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But so we do have a few people. So Sergio's saying what's up, and he's always in the chat room. And we have MK Ultra hiking and gear review. And I apologize in advance. I was going to play one of your videos, but it's too long for StreamYard.
It's too long. It's too much awesome.
Yeah, it's too much awesome. It was over 10 minutes worth of awesome, so I couldn't do it.
Scorsese cinema.
Yeah, exactly. But he's also saying that Pieces of Talent is the heart of the ocean diamond equivalent of movies. I don't disagree. And a fine rarity indeed. I agree. And one thing too is I don't think it's available anywhere for streaming. So it's like
it is on Amazon.
Oh, it is.
Yes, it's on Amazon Prime. Yep, you can watch it for, I think $2 and I think 99 cents for SD. So it's on there.
Okay,
it is available.
Nice. I didn't even know that, because I always do a search to see, because I want to, when I'm trying to get someone to watch something, I'm like, let me find out where it's at, so that way they know. But I didn't realize it was there.
Yeah, I got a few copies laying around, and I've debated on, putting them up. Maybe, we can talk about it after the show or whatever. I'm just here, there, and everywhere all the time,
Yeah.
And it's like, because we self-distributed, which I'm glad that we did, but it's hard for me to kind of fulfill orders and all that good stuff. And I don't want to put something on like my website or whatever, or my company's website that, somebody's going to purchase and they're going to have to wait a week and a half for me to ship it out. Like, that wouldn't be fair.
Yeah.
And plus, everyone's used to Amazon now, and they get it like
the next day.
They click order, and it flies through their freaking window.
Yeah.
And it's there. So, now it's like, oh, I've got to wait 3 days. No.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous.
I could have Ubered to the store to buy this, because I'm not going to drive myself. My whole thing is I tend to order throughout the week, so it's like I feel bad for the drivers because they're just coming to my house over and over again.
Yeah.
But whatever, they get paid, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's something that I still hold near and dear to my heart, and I'm proud to know you guys, like you, David, and Christy, and it's something where it's legit. Like, if you could have seen, like, we had you on the show, and then the next day Christy had called me to say she wanted to come on the show, and I was legit like a kid in a candy store. I was like going to do backflips. I'm like, the people from like my favorite movie right now are contacting me. This is ridiculous. Like but I don't know.
Dude,
It's
I
weird.
mean, it holds a special place in my heart too. Don't get me wrong. You
Yeah.
know, it was definitely an interesting time. It was it's a historical documentation of something a group of people made together, like in that part of our lives that, you can't go back in time.
Right.
And so I'm like very happy to have that accomplishment and have had that experience, like good and bad together. Like it doesn't matter. Like I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful for what I learned from it and what I took away from it. Again, good and bad. I mean, usually, you could say this in all aspects of life, but on a production, a lot of times you learn what not to do more than you learn what to do. Because what works just works, and then what doesn't work, you're like, shit.
I could have done that different, and I'll do
it
that
out,
different next time. Yeah.
And so I'm glad for all of that. I think it gave me some tools that I implemented, further on into my career and life, and so yeah, overall it was a good experience. If I had to say it, would I want to go through it again? Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah,
'cause
that was
every
a
film's
long
a
period of
different thing.
time. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
there's been a long time since it came out, and it also took you so long to make it.
Yeah. I think again, like I kind of mentioned this before, I think technology has really allowed just so much savings of time, because while I am more than happy to sit in front of my computer all day and rotoscope MK out and put a portal behind him, that's awesome. I mean, 10 years ago that would have taken me a week. An example with pieces of talent like the autofocus thing I mentioned, the lighting, the low light response of camera sensors now. I can shoot in moonlight. Not that I would just not light something, but you have a higher baseline of exposure with the new technology. And everything's smaller, it's more efficient. It's awesome. So just if I made pieces now, like it probably would take me half the time just from a logistic standpoint of like the technological advancements. And it's so wild to think about. It's like only a decade, dude.
Yeah.
Which it's 10. I guess it is like a good amount. We shot it in 2010.
Yeah.
So it's been over a decade, but between the time we shot it and got it done, it's just kind of wild to think about in those terms,
Oh yeah.
Like now, what were iPhones at like in 2010?
I don't know.
Like 2. Like what was it? You know what I mean? Now they're shooting in ProRes.
Yeah.
It's freaking crazy.
Yeah, there was. I bring it up. I've brought it up before. I forget the name of the movie. Tony always remembers it. The one that was filmed on an iPhone, that was in theaters.
Oh, Unsane.
Yeah, Unsane. And then they had like different lenses and stuff they were using, but it was still on an iPhone, and it looked good.
I think using an iPhone as a capture device is definitely possible, and if the compression algorithm that you're using, like if you're capturing in ProRes, that's like a less compressed format, so it's not going to squish it and make it crap out. Like you upload something to YouTube sometimes and it just blocks out. So you can get around some of those things, and the sensor technology is coming a long way. And the main thing with something looking cinematic is the lens, and having that glass in front of that sensor. Cell phones look like cell phones, but if you put an 85 millimeter lens on it, it's going to look like a close up from a movie. So having that base of that camera, like whatever you kind of hook onto it and stuff, that's what makes it look good, really. Depending on the application, it just really depends what you're shooting. But yeah, it's freaking awesome. I had a meeting with a young woman today. She's doing this project for her Girl Scout like Gold Star project, and you got to put like 100 hours into it. And we did some work with her a couple years ago. Did some scene shoots with her, and she takes classes from an acting coach, an actor that I know named Pat Dorge up in Charlotte. And she was just kind of asking me, where to start with, she's making this documentary about awareness of like certain environmental issues and stuff. And she just had all these questions for me. And one of them was like, well, what should I shoot it on? And I was like, well, do you have a camera? And she's like, well, yeah, I don't. I was like, what kind of phone do you have? And she's like, I've got the iPhone 14 Pro Max. And I was like, there's your camera. I said, grab a stabilizer, like a DJI little hand stabilizer. You're good. Grab some audio. You're good. You're good.
Yeah.
For you're 16. You're making a documentary piece. Like, you're already killing it because you're just asking questions. So like, you're already ahead of the game.
Yeah.
But like, you have the main component right in your hand right now. And she had like a nice new laptop too. I'm like, girl, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes me so happy. Like, younger kids, like, they have that access to that now. It's killer, man. Like, I can't imagine.
I can remember, when I was a kid, like seeing like a commercial that was I forget what it was called, but it was a camcorder for kids that recorded on audio tapes. And
I remember that.
And I wanted it so bad. And I'm like, oh my God, if I do this, I can do this and I can do this. And I'm like, I never got one, but like, I think I bought my very own first camcorder and it was just for YouTube stuff. I'm using an old T3i for this. And it's like, I mean, I'm not making movies by any means. I always had ideas, but I never did it. Oh, Jamie Hill is in the chat. Jamie Hill, who was in the
Skinamarink.
Yeah, the recent movie Skinamarink that did pretty well in the theaters. It cost $16,000 to make the movie, and it made like close to $1 million in theaters.
I watched Wendigoon's breakdown of that, and I thought it was very interesting, and I do want to check it out.
Yeah,
it's definitely like one of those like so different.
Yeah,
it's either it's one of those like very polarizing movies where it's either you really liked it or it didn't catch you because it's one of those like. It's like your mind plays tricks on you kind of deal.
Yeah,
it's
I feel like
different.
it's a fill in the blanks. I mean, from Wendigoon's breakdown, it looked very interesting and very dark and very different, and I really appreciated the aesthetic. I really appreciated it.
It's very creepy. Yeah, I saw it. I saw it at home, and I also saw it in the theater. And I'm glad I saw it twice because the second time I got way more. More from it in the theater. And not to mention too, I brought this up before, but it's facts. Like I haven't been in a packed theater that has been that silent since the Blair Witch Project. Like
awesome.
It was dead silent, dead silent. And there's a lot of static in the movie, and there's a lot of like sound noise and everything. So it's like your mind starts matrixing. You're almost thinking like you're seeing something, and then you look up and you just miss something, like, so there was things I got the second time around that I definitely didn't see the first time around. So
that's killer.
Yeah. And
awesome.
It's for such a low budget. And she's saying it's coming out on DVD in more theaters in 35 millimeters soon. That's awesome.
Sweet. Well, congrats.
And it's one of those things talking about, having the technology now and then. We've mentioned it many times where even if you have the best technology and you don't know what to do with it, it's not going to look as good. Even if if you have this stuff that you had 10 years ago, but you know what you're doing with it, it's going to look that much better. And with this, I don't know what it was shot on, but still I don't want to say simplistic, but it was one of those things where it's certain shots were on one shot for like 10 minutes. And it's just like,
and you're waiting for something to happen. And then you're like, did I miss something? Like, let's go. Yeah, it
starts with the idea. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can tell a compelling story over a campfire. You don't even need visuals. So film is just a bonus to that. So like, I feel like creative minds are going to find a way to use the tools they have available to do that. And yes, I agree. You can shoot a turd in 8K. It's still going to be a turd.
Yep.
We've all seen it, right? It's like big budget movies and you're like, what is going on? Like, somebody okayed this? I don't know. I guess so. So, I mean, it kind of to what we were talking about earlier, it comes down to that breakdown, I think, in the hierarchy. And once a budget gets so high, or just they don't put the attention into the important thing, which is the script, which is the foundation of this project. That happens so many times. I mean, I've experienced it personally. I shot a couple of films that I just shot them. I didn't write them, but the director, he gives me the script and he's like, "This is what we're shooting." I was like, I mean, nah, I get where you're going, but this probably needs like a rewrite or so. I mean, good first draft, like it's okay. I'm not taking it, I'm not poo-pooing it, but it's like, give it some more love. Like, look at it fresh, and when you deny that feedback, it shows. Like, so you make the movie and then it's like, well, you could have thought that out a little more. Like, I told you. It happens a lot, especially in indie cinema. But you don't know what you don't know, and that's okay. I appreciate people's enthusiasm.
Efforts. Yeah. So that's the thing is, I generally, even if I don't love a movie, I always try to find something that I can pull from it. Like whether even just be like a certain actor that I'm like, they were pretty good. I want to check out what else they've done. Like, that kind of thing. Yeah.
There's always pluses to it. And so I do, like, when I do watch indie stuff, when I do watch anything, period, I try to like look for those things and follow what I can. I don't watch a whole lot of movies, honestly. Mm-hmm. I spend so much time either shooting or in front of the screen that, like, cutting, doing post, that I got fatigue, so I've got to, I'll listen to creepy pastas. I'll listen to, like I said, Wendigoon. I subscribe to him. And me and MK do his channel, the MK Ultra Hiking,
which I subscribed. I subscribed today. I thought it was already subscribed. I thought I was already subscribed. I didn't know what was going on. I thought the video was very funny.
We just try to take, it's gear reviews, and it's like a 50-50 mix. He's playing a character, but we try to just up the ante. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of fun doing it, which is the main component to success. Is we're just having fun, man.
Yeah.
And I love
and
it.
Just before I forget, I did want to. So a fellow filmmaker reached out when he saw that you were coming on, and he's please give Joe my respect and love. Remind him that his flick is the only indie horror flick that intimidated me as a filmmaker. Pieces of Talent is a masterpiece in my book, and that was from Billy Pond, the director of Circus of the Dead. Yeah, Billy's the man.
I remember meeting that guy. He was super cool, man.
Yeah, he's very cool.
Please tell him I said hey.
Definitely. And he kind of it stinks. The clown movie thing was kind of getting overdone for a bit, and he put out one that was really good, and then there was other ones that were really good, and some of them really took off. Pieces, thinking of like Terrifier. And stuff like that, where that really took off.
Yeah.
Because it got sandwiched in between the Terrifier and 31, and it was like, I liked it just as much as each. I probably liked, Terrifier and Circus of the Dead, like right there, and then 31 kind of fell a little short for me. I still liked it, but the problem was
Rob Zombies, right?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
I didn't see it. See it.
So I don't know if you'd respect this, but like right off the bat, I saw the movie in the theater, and the opening scene, which was a very, very well delivered like monologue by the main character, he had blood smeared on his face, and they obviously did it in multiple takes. The reason I know that is because the pattern of blood on his face kept moving around, and it bugged the shit out of me. Like, so there wasn't consistency on where the blood splatter was on his face. And that took me right out of it.
Do you think that was on purpose?
I don't know.
They were trying to be like, well, yeah, it just doesn't. So that's a weird thing to do.
Right.
It sounds like if it threw you off, then it's not effective in the way it should have been.
Right.
Because you
like,
shouldn't.
Right
care
off the
about
bat,
that.
I was like, it was bugging me right off the bat. My wife didn't even notice it, but it bugged me right off the bat. And that's the thing is, like, I've gone back and watched. He's a fantastic actor, and he delivered, like, the acting was great. That but it just really bugged me. And like, for as much as I like Rob Zombie stuff, these movies are just turning into like Rob Zombie music videos.
Yeah, you could say that. Yeah, you could definitely say that. He's got a visual style and that I definitely appreciate.
Totally.
Definitely, like whoever he uses for cinematography and whoever his team is, they do a killer job visually. I think
you can tell it's a Rob Zombie movie when you look at it.
Yeah. So I need to watch that actually. I like wanted to see it, and then for whatever reason it's been years, and I just never saw it because it wasn't out yet. So then I guess I forgot about it. I
think it's on Shudder right now. I think.
Okay, I need to check that out. And I need to watch Skinamarink too, because
that's on Shudder as well. So
that breakdown came out, and I was like, dude, I need to check this out.
It's like Tony said though, it's very polarizing. But when I was at the theater, there was another horror movie like director that was there that I know, and he legit popcorn went flying out of his seat. He got scared, and I was like, wow, that says a lot right there that you scared a guy who just makes like ridiculous horror movies, like just with not much going on the screen. It was great. So I do have a question from the one and only MSJ. We have, sorry if this has been asked, but as a cinematographer, do you have a favorite scene where the camera work really stands out?
I don't
No.
Because there's so many beautiful shots in so many films, man. I mean, dude, you could go back to Kubrick, you could go forward to even recent stuff. Just to keep it in the Kubrick sphere, the Dr. Sleep, whoever shot that killed it. I agree. There was some really creative stuff in that film. I didn't expect it. I was like, oh God, is this movie gonna suck? When it was gonna come out, but it was good. There's so many beautiful things. I would be.
It is really tough. Like there's a lot. There's a lot of things I can say are beautiful movies, but it's really tough. I mean, I'm not a cinematographer though, but even so I do another show where we just talk about black and white horror, like classic horror. And I've been surprised at some of the cinematography because, they have to use it. It's like more like film noir kind of lighting and stuff like that to really like pull out emotion and stuff. And it's really really neat.
You got to play that contrast. I know one of my favorite shows ever, the look of it, the tone of it, anything like as a show, the first season of True Detective. I cannot remember the cinematographer's name, but it was absolutely freaking gorgeous. The mood, that is obviously in my wheelhouse. You've seen it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you've seen like the movie I did. You saw that, like it's like there's a lot of similarities there with like the darkness and just the way, the style of it. And I was like, I saw it in like 2013. I didn't even see it when it first came out, and like I think it was 2010, right? When it first came out.
I don't remember. Time is it's gone.
Time's a flat circle, dude.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, man, I saw that. That's probably my favorite show ever, as far as the consistency of just scene after scene of it just being absolutely haunting or beautiful, and I think it's kind of the whole package, because you got the performances and the story, and you kind of give a crap about these characters that you meet. So that just adds to it. I mean, it's, it all works together, obviously, but that's I would say on my favorite list of like 3,000.
It's somewhere between 1 and 3,000. Yeah,
it's up there.
Higher or lower. Sergio is asking if we have a trailer. We do have a trailer for Pieces of Talent. I was going to play a video from MK Ultra Hiking and Gear Review, which you should go subscribe to because the videos are pretty funny. That Joe is also responsible, well, not responsible, but he helps make those videos. But it was too long. So I apologize for that. So we're actually at the 30-minute point. So let's play the trailer for Pieces of Talent again. This was my favorite movie the year it came out. Was it 2014? It was put out. So
yeah, officially, yes. Yep.
My favorite movie of 2014. I don't know if it's the same for Tony, but as Tony pointed out, I still talk about it to this day.
It's a great family
and that was
film.
The one. No, but it was the one movie that kind of brought me into the whole realm of the Dorkening / podcasting deal. So attribute it to that too.
Oh, nice. Well, it's your fault, Joe. Thanks. No,
Guilty
so
as
yeah,
charged.
here's the trailer for Pieces of Talent, which you can stream on Amazon, and you can pay a ton of money for it on eBay.
Don't do it. It doesn't help me at all.
That's facts. I have multiple copies, and I'm getting rid of none of them. So don't even hit me up. Although I have given away some copies now that I think of it. But anyways, here we go. Here's the trailer for Pieces of Talent. I'll shut up.
Do you always hang out with strange people and drive their cars around?
I do. Every time I get the chance. What do you do?
I make movies.
Take the camera, okay, and you're gonna capture beautiful moments. We're gonna make this movie.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Here.
So what did you tell your mom about me?
That you're making a movie and she just blew it off.
She's gonna be out of your life soon, trust me.
After seeing you, I knew what I was doing. That's right. You're so beautiful.
So that may not be exactly true at the very end. You said that you don't have it on the website anymore.
No, we don't.
Yeah, but go check
Which
it out
I have
on
all
Amazon.
4 copies of that.
Yeah, I was gonna
in
say
my
I think I have all 4 as well. Plus, I have a couple of VHSs and I have a bobblehead.
Go
And
check it out on Amazon streaming. It's a couple
Yeah.
bucks. I'll get 10
5
cents of
cents.
that. It'll be great.
15 cents. Yeah, there's actually a movie. It's a different style of horror movie, but it's called "Don't Fuck in the Woods," and they started off on Amazon and then they moved it over to Tubi, and they've made way more money off of Tubi than they ever did off Amazon.
Dude, I heard Tubi is blowing up.
Yeah, you have Tubi originals now. Like
That's
Tony
interesting.
Tony Todd has done Tubi originals, and there's a lot. I mean, it is pretty great. I mean, as long as you don't mind sitting through commercials every once in a while.
I might have to check that out. And it's interesting. Isn't it interesting to see how you go right back to the TV model?
Mm-hmm.
Here we are.
Yep.
It's just streaming, but it's the
Yep.
exact same model. It's ads.
Yep.
Which I'm kind of fine with.
Yeah, as long as
You
it's
know?
not in the middle of a line or something.
Yeah, there's the knife's coming down. It's then I'm learning about car insurance.
Yeah. Someone's gasping for air, and then you see a Charmin commercial with some bear with toilet paper stuck.
Enjoy
to
the
his butt.
go. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And that's I forgot one of the stories I wanted to bring up too is I do TikTok, and movie collecting is one of the niches on TikTok. And one of the things is for horror movies, it's a sound that everybody uses, and it's like, oh, name a horror movie that maybe not everybody knows. So of course I showed off Pieces of Talent, and David Long's daughter comes on. She's like, oh, my father was in that movie. I'm like, oh, well, that was, one of my favorite movies. And then I'm like, well, the funny thing is I have a little cardboard cutout of your father's face. And
that's crazy,
right
man.
here.
She's probably she's probably 18 now, 19. I haven't seen her since she was 10.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been forever.
That's another thing. You feel like time really hasn't gone anywhere, and then you're like, oh yeah, my niece is going to be 30 this year.
The kids grow up, man. It's amazing. It's amazing.
So someone is pointing out that MK Ultra at least deserves a clip if they're too long top tier content. So I mean, I can try to see if I can do something. Let me see.
And that's what threw me off, because Kevin was like, "Oh, you got to check out Joe's other stuff that he's doing," and I'm looking and I'm like, "This looks like one of those like nature things," and I'm like, "It's a little bit different." Then I look at that little 10-minute clip and I'm like, "Okay, I'm ready for the next episode."
Yeah.
I'm like, this looks definitely fun. So
Hey, it
like,
doesn't
okay,
have to be scary to be entertaining, you know?
Oh, definitely not.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Comedy is my horror is always going to be my number one, but comedy's right there, especially if
you
it's
gotta
done
have
right.
both, really. Like the best horrors are like they have that levity in them, right? You know, you have a little bit of fun in there.
Don't say
totally.
that to Wolfie, because
he's
debate
very anti-comedy in horror, which is weird to me. But whatever.
Just like anything, I love when you could mesh two different like things and put them together, which you look at and be like, that doesn't work, but then it does. It's just like a little bit of everything. Sometimes you get too much of one, and it's just like, okay, either bored or too much, and then it's like, okay, let me just throw a curveball in there with
switch it up.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
All right, I'm gonna try. Let me see if I can do this. It may not look the best because it's going to be on my laptop. Let me see. Present video.
You're on tech mode, man. I apologize. I didn't know
that,
or
I didn't know it either.
Down for you.
Can you guys hear it?
Yes.
Yes.
We can just do MST3K over it now.
Go.
Yeah.
How you doing there, Mr. Top Hat?
That's Mr. Top Hat. That's MK's friend.
I'm loving it.
So basically, this started out as a hiking and gear review channel, and it's turned into a portal time adventure.
Is it watching me pee? What is this thing?
And fun fact, MK was the dead guy in the building in Pieces of Talent.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. What would
He's the one that Jay
Spader
Harper
do?
sees and makes him drop the camera and run out.
Oh, wow.
That was him.
So you guys have been friends for a long time.
Yeah, I've known him for a minute. Way back. It's been quite some time.
I want to get to at least one of those, the funny bits where they're going back and forth.
Yes.
I think it's the lady that's sitting in the vines or something.
Yes, Velda.
That's an impact tremor. That's what that is.
Jeff Goldblum's line from Jurassic Park.
I'm fairly alarmed here.
Is it really?
Yes.
I didn't even realize.
It's a quote.
Yowza canowza.
That's my mom.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, we made her come out in the woods and have fun with us.
That's awesome.
Oh, she's down.
My mom would not be down.
There's
Which one does
creatures
she
that are
like?
chasing me.
They're just playing with you. They're a little shy.
Okay. Well, hey, can I
any
get a hitch to the
resemblance?
nearest post
I do.
office or back to
Now
my
that you
plane of
mention it, yeah.
existence?
Ketchup or mustard?
I seem to have shit in my pants.
Ketchup or mustard?
I'm sorry?
Ketchup or mustard?
Say again?
Ketchup or mustard?
What?
Ketchup or mustard?
Say what?
Ketchup or mustard?
It's my bad ear. Say again?
Ketchup or mustard?
Oh, I'll go with ketchup.
Magnificent
Go ahead,
reporter
reach in.
skills. Award-winning, in fact. We may release that on CD.
Sometimes you need a soundtrack for stuff like this.
Oh, thank God, it's a hot dog.
All beef.
Oh, right on. Do you think you
Something
can give me a
about-
hand to get back to my previous dimension?
Something about hot
I'm
dog
only
jokes.
the trail
just-
angel. You'll have to talk to
Just has
Velda.
a place in my heart.
Who's
you know?
Valda?
Yeah.
She's over there.
Like they just keeps pulling snacks and beverages out of the...
Hiker snacks, man.
Whoa.
The Mountain Dews, the
Don't lose it.
Snickers.
Thank you.
So I ran through the woods with a light and then rotoed myself out.
Oh.
Ugh. Whew. You must be Velda.
Yes, it is I, Velda! And who might you be? A peasant hobo hobbit or something?
Yeah, like 2 out of 3 of those, yeah. But I'm actually here because I need your help. I'm but a simple hiker.
Those vines are
I'm
behind my
lost from my
parents'
own
place. It's
space-time
wisteria
continuum.
vines.
Oh, really?
Isn't that crazy how big they are?
They're
like
awesome.
this big.
You know,
at the
it's got
bottom.
some ups and downs.
It's
It's not like
insane.
completely sad.
And it makes an awesome seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But
She
the
was just
trail
chilling
angel
up
back there, she told me that you could help me.
Oh, did she?
Yes.
Did she?
Yeah, she did.
So when we did the second season of his reviews,
yep,
we
she said-
decided
yep,
just
she
to
said
tape
Velda
the
would
lav
help you.
mic to his shirt.
Did she?
And
Not
so
so
that's
much those
just
words, but
kinda
yeah.
It's an ongoing
has
thing. Like
remained.
That's what she said.
It's
yeah.
easier. The audio is great.
Very well, if it'll get rid of you. But first, I need the sacred leaf of the palm frond of the Highlands of Grayson. And mind you, it is not an easy trail to travel. In fact, some say it is much too treacherous for the human soul to go upon. So good luck.
This doesn't look bad at all, honestly. Like now that
Are you serious?
you hacked it, man.
That
You
section
hacked
in
it.
2015.
That's right. I hacked it.
You did.
This isn't it.
The Matrix
This
could
is
not
brown.
stop you.
Hey,
It's true.
that goes. Hey, that's as good as any other leaf.
Little
Tell you
side
what.
story. I've never
It
seen
isn't
The
it.
Matrix.
I mean, you're not missing a whole lot other than like the first one was cool. The other ones were
fresh
just
one,
like, all right,
fresh
you
from the
know.
stock.
It's,
Went back there a couple weekends
it's
ago.
interesting what happened to those cats.
Yeah.
I see.
This ain't my first rodeo.
Oh, okay. Well,
This shot took a little bit of time
a little
because we didn't use a
batched,
green
but
screen, so
it'll
I
do.
actually rotoed both of them and the vines and stuff. When you'll see it when it happens.
And the vines?
Yeah, you'll see everything in the foreground, him and the vines. So I rotoed it all.
get in there, peasant Ica! Go
Um,
before it closes!
You know, so I could put the portal behind him, right?
I'm not doing it when you laughing like that.
Go on, get in there!
So you know, it's fun.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Sergio keeps asking what movie it is. It's not a movie. It's MK Ultra Hiking and Gear Review. If you go to his YouTube, he's in the chat right now. Go to his YouTube, subscribe. There's a bunch of videos. At what point do you guys start like doing more sketchy kind of storyline stuff?
This is our most recent episode, and we do have plans to continue it. I don't want to talk about the ending of this specific episode. Just go check it out.
Oh,
It's
totally.
enjoyable. We had a lot of fun, and it is progressing. And
Yeah.
there are multiple dimensions involved. There might be. We have some stuff in plan. Like it's turned into more of a narrative venture, and
Yeah.
I'm stoked about it. It's comedic.
It looks
And
fun.
we
Yeah.
can kind of do what we want. I mean, it's just us in the woods messing around. It's fun.
And Sergio saying sorry. There's no reason to apologize. I was just pointing out that it's not a movie, and that's where you can find it. Though
And
you don't have
when's the
no reason to apologize.
TV show or movie coming out? Sergio asked the right question, but not in the right one.
Yeah, I mean, we try to drop an episode every Sunday. This coming week, because that one had so many production elements in it, and so I think MK might be doing some live streaming. We might have a little mini episode that's not narrative based because of where it's going. And when you see the end of that episode, you'll get it. It's like a lot of production value. So we're trying to get our eggs in a row and keep upping the ante every time.
Yeah.
Again, these are weekend fun projects. This is not like there's no budget involved here.
Right. I was actually going to ask because you had said that you're pretty remote, like you can go pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
And I was actually wondering if you travel to do any of this stuff. Just because I was like, oh, you should come up my way. There's a lot of cool areas.
Yeah, man.
Do you freeze on your side too?
Yep.
We'll wait. Joseph.
But
Your
it looked
mother's
like that
pla-
one.
Your
It
mother's
looked like
playing to
that
record
one.
it for you. What?
I was gonna say it looked like it had a pretty good budget out of that because it looked.
Well, That's like you were talking before. Oh, there he is. Yeah, you froze a little bit. You're moving again. So
Did I pop back
yeah,
up?
yeah,
Yep.
you're here.
Cool. The Illuminati
So
got me.
yeah, it's they're getting everyone, aren't they? But yeah, I was just like, oh, that'd be cool if they come up to this area, just because I would just want to watch. Quantum Vortex
Yeah,
got
man,
him.
we're
That's what
planning
MK Ultra
on
said.
it's true. That I mean, doing like traveling to shoot things is kind of where my head's at these days. So
I don't know what's going on, Joe. You're freezing up pretty good. Um,
Maybe it hops out and hops back in.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, try jumping out and jumping back in if you hear me, and then maybe there'll be a better connection. Maybe it's because I pulled up the video or something. I don't know. He's there.
man,
He's blurry.
it's the vortex for
We
sure.
could, yeah, we can hear you now. But so Sergio. Also, I want to point out that Sergio said that that Pieces of Talent it's something where he's not going to watch it because it looks too scary. That's his whole thing. He's like, no, thank you. Like, I know that it's not. You're
It's
doing
not
yourself
that
a disservice. No, not at all. It's just very well made and
I
great
still
story.
remember that poster when I bought the package and the poster came. I'm like, whew, this one's intense.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'd love to jump on some sets and pop some cinematography for some people.
Yeah.
Like part of the motivation behind me building out the Sprinter van was so I can throw my gear in and kind of travel to folks. And I love to be part of indie projects. So, if people out there, they got a project going on, they want to hit me up. Let's talk.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun. I love creating things, and I'm kind of a free agent at this point. So yeah, I mean, it's in the next year, I'd love to get on some more sets and do some more long form work, along with what me and MK are doing and all that good stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It'd be awesome to see your name on some stuff, that just pops up, as I'm watching. I'm like, I know that guy. Yay, I know him. But yeah, that'd be great. I've actually kind of dropped your name around a little bit already to some people that are like producers and stuff. Just be like, hey, if you're looking for anyone, he made my favorite movie of 2014. So
Cool,
yeah, because it's there's a lot of good out there, like a lot of good independent stuff that's out there. There's a lot of stuff that's not so great too, but maybe a good cinematographer, would help that.
Hey, it all works together. It all
Mhm.
works together. You can have great actors, and if you shoot it on a potato, or you could have a red 8K weapon camera, and if you have actors that can't act their way out of a paper bag, then you're gonna be in the same situation. So it's all works together, and it's all like an orchestra.
So besides, because Sergio's asking what's next, do you have anything in the works right now, or is it just like a kind of like for hire stuff? I know you said you were doing some commercial stuff at one point.
That's a good question. So I run my own production company. So I do things. I work with a lot of actors. They need scenes done. I write them and shoot them for them. So they have like legit looking real footage, because it's really hard when you're an actor starting out to have stuff that looks and sounds good. And so I provide a service for that. I am working on some things, and they're in the beginning stages. And to be perfectly honest, like, it's been a rough year. Just stuff's been really weird. It's been very, very strange the last few months. A lot of changes happening. So I'm hoping to get some momentum behind these longer form projects. Like I said, for a while, I've really wanted to do another long form project, but it's got to feel right. And I feel like while you definitely need to take hurdles and obstacles head on, during a production, things do need to line up too, you know, and you need to kind of give the universe a read there sometimes. And I feel like things are going to happen when they need to happen. You know, obviously budget's always an issue, but I've invested heavily for many years in all of my equipment. So that's not really the issue. It's not like a gear issue. It's more of like, I'm not going to ask someone to come give their time and talent on my set for free. That's not fair to them.
Right.
You know, just as someone that works really hard, I respect someone else's hard work, and I'm never going to do that. I mean, we had people show up on our set for pieces of talent that expected just to be free PAs, and we paid them because it's just not cool. I don't dig that. Like, unless you, like me and MK hang out and we do our thing, like, but that's a different jam. You know what I'm saying? When you're going out and doing a venture that you are going to monetize and that you are going to make money from, it is only right to compensate those involved bringing their time and talent.
Yeah.
And it's just doing the right thing.
Totally. I mean, totally. I mean, I totally respect that. But from a person like me, who like sometimes are just like, I just want to have the experience. Like, I don't even care as long, like, you know, I'll drive like hours and hours away just to, well, I won't because I can't legally right now because I can't feel my feet, Joe.
Oh no.
Well, that's part of the whole thing I was telling you about beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's why I haven't been able to drive to work for just about a year. But yeah, enough about me. But
with
for people like me, maybe even like finding like a very, very, very like micro budget, like or no budget movie to be like, hey, let me help you out. I just want to learn, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and even micro budget stuff, I'm definitely open to if it's a good script and a good story, and even if the budget's very low, you know, I love to look at things and work with people, you know, work something out. You know, budget can be hard, and you have to know where to spend your money. You know, you don't want to cut corners, but you still need to know where to spend your money on the important things. And it's tough because there's a lot of BS out there, and there's a lot of, it's a tough thing to navigate, man. It's a very, very interesting, I'll use the term interesting, industry.
Yeah.
I'm not like, I had to bow out of like the scene because it got a little, I was very tired. I was very tired doing all of the conventions and stuff. And it was a great experience. I can't complain about it, but it got very exhausting.
Oh yeah.
You know? That lifestyle was very exhausting, and it's not really a healthy lifestyle, you know? And, but I'm thankful to have had that experience, and I'm kind of ready to kind of get out there and not necessarily do the convention thing or anything, but just get out there and get on someone else's set and help them tell their story. I'm excited about that. You know, I feel like I have a little bit, you know, a story or two or a piece of knowledge or two I could bring to the table, but I'm hoping to, you know, I've kind of been a hermit the past few years, so I'm hoping to get back out there and hop in the van and go pop some movies off for some people. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I know you kind of ventured from the horror side of it, but it's one of those things where 2014 and 2023 are two separate things, where now that horror scene is definitely popping off like I haven't seen it before. So even at that, oh, definitely from like I said, from the pandemic, it bloomed all this, that now we have Shudder, now we have a lot of horror movies on Tubi we were talking about, and even on Amazon Prime. It looks like it's, I mean, especially with some of the lower budget, like Terrifier 2, a lower budget, and it made what, $10 million in the theaters and stuff like that.
Something like that.
Skinamarink, we were talking about another one where, you know, it doesn't have to be a huge.
And the thing with those movies too is that they had full control over it. Like, it wasn't like they didn't have anyone breathing down their back, being like, I want you to change this, and I want you to change that. Like, they like, I think Terrifier raised money for it, and you know, not even that much. Like, the budget I think was like $250,000.
Yeah.
And You know, but that's the thing is I'm seeing more of that, more of like good stuff coming out. Yeah,
that's encouraging, and that's what it takes. It takes the artist doing their thing and not being, the gatekeeping needs to stop, and the gatekeeping is stopping. I mean, they can't do it anymore. They can keep that gate all they want, but we got a different way in.
Yeah.
So
we cut a hole in the fence over there.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. And
because they kind of knocked down the door too, because getting those movies in theaters.
Yeah.
Because before that, I don't think you would have gotten it. So Terrifier 2 was in the theaters for a month. Skinamarink was another one.
But only it was for a month, but only on weekends, and it made that much money. But but that's the thing is I really hope beyond all hope that this will show, Hollywood that, hey, you don't have to have all these giant producers behind you. Like, you don't have to have like these bajillions of dollars to make this movie when it can be made this well for less money and give them complete control, and it's still doing these numbers,
I think that more so, to speak to what you just said, I think more so it's going to inform other people, the audience and other filmmakers, more than it's going to inform Hollywood, because Hollywood doesn't care. I mean, they're a cult. I mean, let's be real. They're going to do whatever they are told, and everybody's going to turn a blind eye as long as they're getting something out of the deal, which is why, like, you see the toxic cultures of like Weinstein and all that stuff happen. Because it's a bunch of like narcissistic sociopaths that don't really care about other people. So, and Hollywood as a whole, that industry is kind of like that. Not to crap on all of Hollywood, but it's not a very good scene, but like that is not what we're talking about when we're talking about these productions, that are independent. Like, you don't get that out of Hollywood because they're pure in some form and they're free from that in some way, So it's awesome. It's very exciting.
But it's also not only with the horror movies, you're looking at movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once and The Whale and stuff, because A24 is Lionsgate's independent little like...
They consistently just, if it's A24, it's going to be really good, really weird, or both.
Yep.
Exactly.
And I love it.
Yeah, same here.
I love it.
This whole shelf right there is all A24 stuff, and it's one of those like lower budget. I mean, I'm sure they have bigger budgets than some other lower, but it's one of those things where it's not your mainstream Hollywood movies. They're making their own stuff, and it's making, getting the limelight with Brendan Fraser getting into it. And I just love it, where I love The Goonies. It's my favorite movie. So seeing Keon Kwan and like getting the limelight again. And it's one of those things where some people still don't understand, but they look and they're like, I'm like, oh, A24 did it. They're like, what's A24? I'm
fresh.
Like, where have you been?
Man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is just fresh. And there just has to be more of that. And like you were saying, like the gatekeeping and just it's like old guard. Like, they just can't let it go.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that good big budget movies aren't made. I'm not saying that at all. But it is literally just a different monster.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. And, I'm not hating on that. It just really, it's not what I personally, as an artist, am interested in, I guess.
Right. I agree. I mean, every once in a while, there's a big budget thing that'll really like, oh, wow, that was really good. But most of the time, it's like I have no interest in seeing that at all. Because
sometimes you just want to watch stuff blow up, and that's great. Right. It's fine. Yeah. Destroy a city is awesome. Oh, I went and saw 65 million years ago, or whatever, with Adam Driver.
Haven't seen it.
It kind of looked like another like Jurassic Park or something like.
It was not. I mean, we had free tickets, so we went and saw it, and it was pretty predictable. But there was some dinosaurs and some explosions, and I walked out like fine with that. I didn't particularly enjoy, not enjoy it, but I wasn't like, wow, dude, that was a good movie. But it had all the crap you thought was going to happen in it, and I was totally fine with that. The tickets were free,
right?
So
exactly. If you paid for it though, would you have felt the same way?
Hey, I wouldn't have paid for it. That's my point.
There you go. Yeah.
But I think it's also kind of reflecting, because you're hearing a lot more like major budget movies tanking in the theaters.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's because not as many people are going to the theaters.
I can tell you
one thing.
I think that's definitely a big part of it, because I go to the movies every once in a while, and we go to one theater, and like there's been multiple times where it's just me and my wife in the theater.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm fine with it, but at the same time too, how is this movie theater going to survive?
So
that 65 movie, I mean, that had just come out that weekend, like the day before, I think, when we saw it, and the theater was not very full at all. And I mean, that's like a multi-million-dollar movie that just came out the day before.
Yeah, I think didn't Terrifier 2 knock Top Gun out of the top whatever?
I don't remember.
I think it was Top Gun. Yeah, which I was like, that's huge. You know,
That's
like
awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, that's great.
But now theaters are kind of shooting themselves in the foot. I know ones around here, you gotta pay for parts. Like if you want a certain seat, you gotta pay a different price for those seats as opposed to the seats in the back. And I'm like, you can't even get people to come in the door. You're going to charge people more. I'm like, what a great strategy.
Don't make it harder. Don't make it harder or more annoying. Right. Like the assigned seat thing is already like, I'm not in elementary school.
Yeah.
Here. Like
I've been to a theater where they actually search your bags to make sure that you're not sneaking in snacks and stuff
Get
too.
out.
It's like, well,
walk out. I'm like,
charge like $45 for a small popcorn. Like, let's wonder what's going to happen, guys. But I don't know. It's I'm just upset about popcorn, everyone.
I refinanced my home so I could get this popcorn.
Yeah, extra butter.
That it's fresh.
Extra butter. I had to take out a home equity loan because of that.
But to tell you the truth, there is nothing different. Like nothing like good movie theater butter popcorn. I mean,
but there's also very few theaters around here, at least, that have it. That have good stuff. That's the reason we go to the theater we go to, is because they have the best popcorn around.
Where exactly are you at these days, Kevin?
I'm still like Central Mass.
Cool.
Yeah, just right outside of Worcester, which is right outside of Boston. So, you know,
nice.
it's all garbage wherever you go.
It's all garbage.
Oh, it is. It's all gross. But whatever. I've lived here my whole life because you know, whatever. I don't want to get into that. So, anyways, I'm jealous that you're going to be able to drive around and do things. I wish I could do that.
I'll stop by and say hey.
Okay, yeah, just drive by, egg my house or something.
I'll drive by while I'm looking for MK.
Yeah,
I'm looking for his.
Like he's in my backyard, like pulling hot dogs out of the yard somehow.
We'll have him warp into your backyard and
right into a pile of dog poop. That's weird. Yeah. But anyways, it's about that time. I mean, it went by very quick, but so in the show notes we have a link to your website. But can you tell people where they could find out more about your stuff and where they could follow your updates?
Yeah, JOESTAUFFER.com is my page where I don't do a lot of social media, but I post my like projects on my website, you know, and you can drop me a line. My company is called Shutterblade Media, and we are on Instagram. I think the handle's Shutterblade Films, you know. But again, I'm not very active on social media. I just kind of, it's just so much.
It's kind of toxic. Yeah.
Yeah, it drains my life force, so I try not to spend a lot of time on it. But
yep.
Yeah, JOESTAUFFER.com, and you know, hit me up. We'll hang out. I'll shoot some stuff if you need it.
Yeah. And Tony, what about yourself?
You can find me at Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything like that. I got
Michael Gibson. Let's see that finger, Tony. There you go. There it is.
There it is. It's still there. It's
just all messed up. Yeah. You get the old like the transformation American Werewolf in London finger. That's what it is.
It just kind of got stuck. I was about to turn, and it's like, forget you.
Yep.
But Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything movie related. Tony Has Nine Fingers on Twitter. Tony Has Nine Fingers on TikTok, which I'm the most
what are you up to now?
Active on there. 21,000. I did hit
nice.
Yeah, a nice mark. So
and literally all he does is talk about the movies behind him. That's all he does.
Exactly.
Nice. So he's like trying to sell people on buying movies and checking out movies.
Like anything, it's one of those. Every little thing has its niche, and I found it on TikTok, and it seems like it grows. I figured. So you can find me there. Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I kind of just post movies and make sure I tag everybody in it. And of course, here most Tuesdays, whether we have an awesome guest or it's just horror movie talk, you can check us out, Wicked Horror Show, every Tuesday night. Make sure you're checking out the live, shows so you can ask along, ask questions, watch, clips and stuff. Make sure you're coming to the live shows and listening. But yeah, Kevin.
Yeah, I was going to say it's definitely weird to me that we've been doing the live show for so long, and we have more more people listen than they do watch. And it's just like, you guys are missing. Like, you're missing all the good stuff. But anyways, for me, you can find me A-Knuckle on Instagram. I besides this show, I do Black and White Fright, which is just classic horror movie reviews, and because that's what the world needs. So I'm going to talk about a movie from 1942. I'm also part of That Strange Show now, so go check that out. And we have some other things in the works. I just covered a con this past weekend. It was a good time. So some of those videos will be coming up soon. A lot of voice actors and anime people and video game people that I had no idea who they were, but they were all very cool. Like, it's not my thing, but I was there to help. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching / listening, and we'll talk to you all later. And bye, everyone in the chat room. MK Ultra, if you haven't subscribed, go subscribe to him. And thanks again, Serge. You're always awesome in the chat. And have a good one.
Y'all have a good one.
Bye.